Welcome to episode 3 of the Jasmine Star Show. Today, we're going to do something a little different. And I have to admit, I am shaking in my boots for you to hear it. Okay, I don't really wear boots. I'm actually not wearing boots right now. I'm actually barefoot with my toes running through the carpet. But if I was wearing boots, I would totally be shaking. Why? Because I invited Amy Porterfield on the show to interview me and JD. Now, for those of you who don't know, JD is my husband and my business partner. And Amy is like basically the Beyonce of podcasting. And she also happens to be one of my sweetest, dearest, most kindest, bestest friends. And I am so grateful she agreed to do this. Y'all, we get real today. From the details of how I met JD at just 17 years old. And also JD will admit his biggest pet peeve about me. I hope you guys are ready for some straight up vulnerability because you guys are going to hear it all. Okay, without further ado, here is Amy Porterfield interviewing me and JD.
Well, Jasmine and JD, welcome to your show.
Yes,
I love
thank
it.
you.
Hey.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
I am so excited to do this. When I got the call that I got to ask the questions, I was excited. But then when I realized you didn't even want to know the questions in advance, I got a little nervous because I'm not sure if you're going to be okay with the questions I'm going to ask, but they're all the things that if I didn't know you two, I would want to know all about. So are you ready for this?
Yeah, I am. I am.
Okay.
I was ready until now. Right when we started, I feel like my jaw just got locked up, and I'm nervous for the first time.
It's going to be good. It's going to be so good.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is start at the top. And I want you to tell us how you two met.
Oh, man. Wait. We were 17, Amy. So I just feel like
17.
if you want us to tell this story, you really have to rewind and take yourself back to when you were 17 years old. Because all the decisions we made and everything we did was in that frame. So, you know, we were both, so it started in high school. We were at a mutual fundraiser. So we didn't go to the same high school, but we were in the same district. So there was an event that had both of our schools attending, and Jasmine was, of course, the senior class president, something like that. Of course she was, right?
Stop, haters.
And she also got the award in high school, most likely to bring...
Oh, yeah, most likely to give a teacher an apple.
Right.
That was my senior class award. I mean, come on. Like, oh, my God.
I'm learning so much already.
I'm annoyed at just hearing this story about myself. Like, I want to punch myself in the face. But you liked me. You wanted to date me.
I still love you. Not much has changed. Jasmine is still, hey,
a lot
of those
Wait
things
a
are still
second.
the same.
Did you like her the second you met her? Did you see her across the room and think she's cute? I want to get to know her?
Gosh, Amy, all I want to say is, yes, it was love at first sight, and I fell in love with her the moment I laid eyes on her, but that's not how it really happened. We shared a counselor, and so he was the one that made the introduction. And my parents were at this event. My siblings were there. For me, it was quite embarrassing and a little awkward.
The counselor did. He introduced the both of us, and JD was just like, we shook hands. Like,
right. So like every time someone asks this question, I always like to go like how I really fell head over heels over Jasmine a couple weeks later when we had exchanged phone numbers. And I remember thinking, okay, it's going to be a quick phone call. I'll talk to her for 10 minutes. We spoke on the phone for probably, 2-3 hours?
Well, yeah, because, not to age us, but this was the time where phones were connected to the walls, and, like, there was one phone in our house, and I literally dragged the phone inside of my room. I hid inside of my closet.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, we're going to chat for, like, 30 minutes.
Right, and you know what? That was our first conversation, and then it
was, like, 2 hours.
Right, it was 2 hours, and it continued. I think I called you almost every day that week, and each conversation was at least 2 hours. I remember one time your mom actually picked up the other line.
My mom picked up my mom
and
who's listening right now.
Jasmine, are you still on the line? It was like 11 p.m., so it was way late. And I just remember being mortified. And I was about to say, so sorry, but Jasmine just straight hung up the phone, and that's it.
No, because what you have to set the scene. My mom picks up the phone.
Jasmine, are you talking? It's very late. You're not supposed to be on the phone with boys. And I was dying.
Right. All I heard at that point was, the call completely dropped. So I was actually thankful because I did not want to talk to Jasmine's mom under those circumstances.
But I think that it was really important that we knew immediately that there was something like different.
Yeah.
There was something different in how we connected early on in high school.
Oh yeah. I think that it was Jasmine's way of thinking, her brain. I fell in love with her and her brain. I tell this to her all the time. I was just floored by the way that she approached life. And it's crazy because it's manifested in such beautiful ways now as adults. But goodness, I could see it. I could see it at the age of 17.
Jasmine, did you like him right away?
I thought he was really, really, really nice. Like he was so different than the other guys in my school that like I was attracted, and I know this sounds super woo, but I was attracted to like his soul, like his energy. Like in 5 minutes, I was like, this guy is like different. Like he's kind and like he's soulful without even trying. And so we go our separate ways. And then that school counselor ends up sending letters to each other back and forth to our school. So he would come to my school in the morning and JD school in the afternoon.
He would take me out of fourth period every day and say, hey, I have something for you. I'd get there and it'd be a letter from Jasmine saying, hey, really good to meet you. And for a second, I thought this was really weird, but I started to really get behind it.
He became our courier. Like
please tell me this man was at the wedding.
He unfortunately passed before our wedding.
Oh,
so I know.
He didn't get to see you guys get married.
He did not. No, but we had dated like 9 years.
Okay.
So it was a while.
that's a big thing. So here's the thing. You guys dated 9 years, which feels like forever, but you were really young. So you went to college, you went to separate colleges, you kept a long-term relationship that whole time.
We did long distance. For the first 2 years,
For 2
JD
years we did.
had a soccer scholarship in the Bay Area. So we did long distance for 2 years, which was really good for us because we grew up like together, but we were away from each other. So we came into adulthood on our own. And then he transferred back down to UC Irvine down here in Orange County, California. And so we would see each other on the weekends.
I laugh only because, I got a letter every day in the mail from Jasmine.
I did.
It wasn't, we got to grow and spend some time apart. I was like,
Amy,
I was on my payphone every night talking to Jasmine.
No, legitimately. We were on payphones every night. And I was so into him that when we were 19, 20, I walked into his bedroom and I saw a book on a bedstand that said, "Is it love or obsession?" A book that his dad gave him. Swear on my life. Swear. I was really into this guy, Aim. I was really into him.
Like Jasmine came in hard. Like I was just like, whoa,
I did.
She thinks I'm going to propose before I leave the college or something.
Totally.
And Amy, here's one thing. I'm just so good at picking a man. I get my claws in nice and deep. Okay. You hang on tight. Okay.
That reminds me. This is a story I think is going to get cut out of the podcast. But what was the story you told me of you being jealous, Jasmine, of girls at the school?
I cannot. Yes. I just can't deal with you right now.
My favorite
I am about
story.
to shake you.
Oh, I got to tell this one. I mean, there's countless. There's countless, but I got to tell one.
This is worth it. If this gets cut, I'm going to be really mad.
Here's one thing. Ladies, if this is the one thing you take, you find a good man, you do whatever it takes to protect that thing. Okay, thank you.
I mean, she was extra always.
Okay,
so
Judy,
we always went to different.
Tell the story just really quick.
Well, there was countless ones, but we decided one summer to take summer school college courses at the same college, which is I think JC or
because
something like that.
Because I just dreamed that we would go to school together, but we didn't. So I said, let's go to this JC and take a summer class together.
I was like, let's do it. So she ended up taking some interior design course, and I was like, you know what? I really want to take this history class. We'll both go to school together, but we'll take this different courses since it's only going to be a 3-week program. So she says, okay. So one day she's like, hey, I'm going to meet you outside the restroom after class. I say, great, let's do this. My class just got out. So, the people that I had been corresponding with for a while, we walked out together and and we were all going to the restroom. I went to the restroom. Some of my colleagues went to the
colleagues.
There was
colleagues. We're at a
guys.
Junior college. This is colleagues.
Right, whatever.
Our colleagues.
They're in the restroom. Jasmine ends up going to the restroom, and she overhears these girls in the restroom talking about
JD.
Me.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Just like,
okay.
Hey,
so they're talking about him.
It was really chill, though. It was probably
how cute he is?
No.
Yeah, and how they like talking to him. And how they...
know how they like talking to me. Not how cute I was.
Oh, no. This is... No. One.
one, I just don't I don't throw shade for the sake of throwing shade. If you're going to talk about my man, it's talk about how cute and the conversations you have. That's what I said. They didn't know. They didn't know they didn't know about me.
Let me get back on this.
They did not know about me.
So I walk out of the restroom, okay? And I'm waiting there. I have a clear shot at the women's restroom, and I see a couple of girls from my class come out of the restroom. And right behind those girls, I see Jasmine. Right behind them, I'm like, and Jasmine darts through the line. So she breaks their little line as they're walking, walks right up to me and lays one on me like we hadn't seen each other in years. And I'm just like, whoa, I was all for it. I was all for it, but I was like, what's gotten into you? And she's like, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is my man.
And I was like, oh my goodness, okay. No way.
This is Jasmine, you guys.
That's right.
She really, don't come around her man. And believe me, I have a crush on JD, and I don't get close.
No,
I know she's gonna claw me.
Because you value your right eye. You know what I'm saying? Because you come at him, I will poke it out, girl. And then you look 2 times. You look 2 times. There goes your left eye. Just say.
Okay.
Just say.
I'm scared of her, you guys. So now we know this is a true love affair. I mean, 17 years old. They dated for 9 years, then they got married. So now I've got some questions about what life is like now. Are you ready? Okay. First of all, I actually want to talk about what it looks like in the business with both of you, because a lot of people are listening and they know you from Social Curator and everything you guys do online, especially Jasmine. So what I think is very interesting about your relationship is who does what in business and in your personal life. So break it down for me. First, let's talk about business. We know what Jasmine does essentially. JD, what is your place in the business?
So this for me, being on the front of it, where we're doing podcasts or being online, that is so against my power plays or whatever, my strength, my place of power. I am so behind the scenes that I would prefer that I'm kind of this invisible person behind the scenes. So I take a big role in the finance part of the business, making sure we're running at a healthy pace, and I'm reporting that down to Jasmine so that we can make some decisions on the marketing front and all the other things like that. Other than that, I want to make sure that Jasmine's always seeking counsel. And so I feel like for me, I like to know the ins and outs of the business in regards to our team, how people are feeling on the team, just being there for them. So I make an active role to just kind of be in meetings throughout the day. Still a fly on the wall, but I like to listen to different departments and things that are going on. And
I think it's important if I can jump in. One of the biggest things that I think, like the assets, is that we can see the exact same situation from 2 entirely different perspectives. Where I thought that was like a liability, I now see it as an asset, because we don't need 2 people looking at the same situation the same way. I need him to come in and fill in like the gaps, and I can be extraordinarily linear. Like I just see things as they should be done, and he comes in and he knows how to finesse a situation. He knows how to help me see bigger, but also how to keep the humanity as part of what we're doing in our business. Because I can get so singularly focused. I know, Amy, you could get the same. Mm-hmm. We get so focused on that thing that come hell or high water, it's like, no, this is what we have to do. And he's kind of like, we can do more with less and enjoy the process. And I think seeing it from that perspective has always been a good thing.
Yeah. I'm naturally more of a service-oriented person. Like I'm service first. I like to serve others, and that's just my skill set. I love it. I do it in our personal lives. I've always, kind of been that person. So that is something I like to always make sure I'm doing.
Jasmine told me once that you're really good at creating experiences, and you did that for the team. Like when you guys went to Napa and JD added touches that you normally, Jasmine, you weren't thinking of because you were in work mode. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes. The experience of my life has to be on point. Honestly, in regards to, because Jasmine's always just this might bleed into our personal lives. For me, it's a high value to make sure that we're operating our personal lives in a way that feels comfortable and where we can mentally be present. Because for me, having quality time where we're sitting down, relaxing, that experience can't just be pulling out a microwavable dinner, although we don't even have a microwave, but that
we
to
don't.
me would
I'm totally against microwaves. Yeah. I'm totally against microwaves. But honestly, Amy, you know him. It's like if he could break a piñata and pop a bottle of champagne and dance a jig every afternoon, that's what he would do, right? It's like he's living his best life. He's just like, I remember one time probably it was like right in the beginning of us starting in like this marketing sphere and teaching other entrepreneurs. And we had started this project and we were in the middle of launch and we were just like bombing. It was like, the plane is burning, help us, Captain. And I'm sitting in the house and I'm like, I don't know what to do. This is the worst thing. And homeboy goes outside and he lights a fire and opens up the most expensive bottle of wine we have in our pantry. And he said, if we can't drink this now, when can we drink this? And still to this, and I thought it was so crazy. Right. Because I thought to myself, my God, like he gets it. If we can't drink the best now, we don't deserve to drink the best when we be celebrating. Like we talk about experiences that I think embodies definitely that balance between work and home and like living every moment, the good, the bad, and the ugly to its fullest.
Yeah. Sometimes just a little reminder, only because Jasmine's so good at getting things done, working hard and driving goals. And I love that. I feel like I'm so glad that we have a balance though, because, I can be the CEO of fun all day, every day.
Oh my gosh.
I'll take it.
I love this. Okay. So tell me this, in your personal life, what does that look like? Because Jasmine and I talk a lot. When I'm on a walk with Scout, I'll get messages from Jasmine. And Jasmine, you told me a really funny story about when the woman that came to your house about adopting,
the adoption,
asked about roles in the house. And you're like, oh my gosh, she probably thought I was crazy. So talk about the roles in your house and why it's not the traditional roles.
So we're sitting there, and as part of the adoption process, a social worker will come over and she has to interview each parent separately to get their perspectives on things. And she asked me a litany of questions, and then she starts, so let's talk about the household responsibilities, to which I get a nervous twitch in my right eye. And I'm like, oh God.
And she said, let's get specific.
And she said, let's get specific. And I was like,
I just want you guys to know JD has the hugest smile on his face right now.
This is so awkward. He loves this, right? Because when we talk about power plays, I'm legitimately like a 2 left feet and an iron lung when it comes to our household responsibilities. Okay.
And I was so excited to hear her responses. I was like, is she going to say she does laundry? What is she going to say she does?
She's like, okay, so let's talk about who does the cooking. I was like, JD. She's like, okay, so who does grocery shopping? And I was like, well, I sometimes order groceries on Amazon Prime. And then she's just like, okay, so who does the laundry? I was like, well, I don't know how to turn on our laundry. I said our laundry. I don't even know what it's called. A washer machine. Okay. Like there's just so much.
I think Jasmine has, in 17 years, I think Jasmine has done 2 loads.
I mean, my God.
I know. My mom, my mother and mother-in-law better not hear this podcast.
Right? They have to be mortified.
I mean, but listen. Okay, let me tell you something right now. Okay, because one, I will take it until I can't take it no more. There is a powerful thing as business partners to be able to abdicate responsibilities in your home to somebody who gets fulfillment and a paycheck by doing my laundry. For years, my grandmothers have done other people's laundry. That is how our families came to this country. They were housekeepers. They did other people's laundry. And now I am at the point that I'm living out my dream. Will I apologize? No,
never.
When I'm talking to a social worker about adoption, I'm like,
yes.
Well, you see, let me explain here, okay? We just had to be 100. We just had to be 100 about it. And
for me, it brought it to the forefront, though. I was just like, when I listed all the things that I did, I was just like, I need to get some people. I need to get some help.
He wants a team.
I need to outsource now.
He wants a team.
I should not be doing laundry either. Because then I started thinking like a CEO. I was like, it costs how much? It's actually costing me a lot of money to do laundry nowadays. So
okay, so I'm glad you see that. But here's my question for you, JD. And I've been asked this question about Hobie and I, or Hobie's been asked this question. So I want to hear what you have to say. How do you feel before you outsource? I know that's your next step, about being in a non-traditional role in your marriage.
Yeah. I actually, like I said, acts of service comes natural to me. I actually drive a lot of fulfillment in making sure that the house is operating properly so that we can thrive at our best, so that we can actually function and work and be really excited about working. For me, I do derive a lot of satisfaction from it.
Okay.
I love cooking for Jasmine. I love, I'm that guy that just does things and hope, like if she says thank you, that's my day's made.
Oh,
and
my God. She does say thank you, right?
I'm dying.
But the fact that I get excited about that, I throw Jasmine softballs all the time. That's just like an easy, hit this one out of the park, Jay. Like, here's your dinner. And then, but Jasmine's really good. She's always very, very thankful. And so it makes it easy for me. Like,
but
I
here's
really
she brags about you a lot, JD. She talks about your skills in the kitchen. So believe me.
No, he is.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are familiar with, come on.
Downton Abbey?
Yes, Downton Abbey.
Whoa.
Okay.
Can you believe
So so I watched Downton Abbey. JD refused to watch it with me. Downton Abbey comes out in a feature-length film, and he said it would mean so much to me if we went and saw this period piece, and to which he obliges, and I'm like, okay.
He had to have loved it.
Well, yeah,
I actually did like
he
it.
enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
there's a character by the name of Carson, and he's like the house, like he runs the house. And I look at Carson the way, like he takes such pride in what he does. And like if you come to our house, you will eat the most amazing meal and drink the most decadent wine. And he takes joy watching you enjoy what he does. So in that regard, like he's very much in his power play.
I do
like,
plan.
Yes.
I have a book where I plan probably 2 weeks in advance. If Amy, if you're coming over for dinner, it's a 2-week
It's a little
process.
black book. I approve of this black book.
Okay. Thank God.
That's right. Yeah.
JD, you are one of a kind. So when I hear, I didn't know all this about you. I knew some, but not all of this. So I am loving this. So tell me this. Jasmine, you go first. What is your absolute favorite thing about JD?
He is so selfless. He is.
Yeah.
And not just with me, but legitimately, like he can meet a stranger in the airport and he would put that person above himself 1,000 times over.
Wow. Okay. That's huge. All right. You're up, JD. What is your absolute favorite thing about Jasmine?
My favorite thing is that she makes people feel seen and heard. I feel like I light up every time we walk into a room, and for some reason she gravitates to the person in the back of the room who's being ignored or not really talking to anybody, and she goes straight to them every time. And it's my favorite thing about her.
I love that. I wanted to start with the good because my next question is,
Sure.
JD, I'll let you go first.
All right,
What
all right.
drives you crazy about this woman? What does she do that just drives you crazy? You'll love her till the day she dies, but she still drives you crazy in this one area.
Can I say?
Go
I
ahead.
say it?
Let's be 100. I don't know what you're going to say. I'm kind of
The
nervous.
fact that she leaves her eyelashes everywhere. Who does that?
God,
Who
really?
does that?
Really?
You mean you cannot put eyelashes on the kitchen table? You cannot put them on the counter.
you are
You cannot
so
put them on a
wrong.
coffee table.
You're
You
so-
can't put them on a sofa. You can't put them on my shirt.
Okay,
If we're
fine.
watching TV, sometimes they land on my shirt.
No.
I'm like, is that an eyelash?
Do not talk about my lashes. That
Anyways,
was below the belt.
That
was below.
That's the
That was
worst
so
one
You're
good.
going to be in
ever.
trouble for that one, but now we know he's being 100
He
for
is.
sure.
He absolutely
Okay.
is.
It's just so
All right.
bad. Anyways,
so let's
come
move
on.
on to a whole different topic. Just
Hey,
joking.
I was like,
Just-
excuse me. No.
All right, let's hear it. I can't even imagine what it's going to be because he's so perfect.
Well, it's because, and that's actually the
No.
most annoying thing is that he
No,
wants
come on,
to.
come
No,
on, get-
it's not. No,
get
it's
real.
Lou, I am. He wants to keep everything perfect. Like he aligns the LaCroix all to be facing out on our fridge.
JD.
He's just
I'm
like,
horrible.
he honestly, like he can only buy a very particular type of toilet paper. Like everything isn't about experience, even down to his tush. And it's like, that's wonderful. But like to
Man.
live with things across
I'm
the
sorry.
board.
I even
that
pack-
are like,
I even pack them when we go on
He
trips.
packs a
I'm
roll
sorry.
in our
I'm
suit.
sorry.
Amy,
I mean-
tell me that's not
I
annoying.
am
Come
learning
on.
things
Come
that I
on.
never thought I would
and
learn.
he also packs a candle. A
I
candle
know,
and a
hey, I know it myself. Hey, listen, it's a secret. Nobody's supposed to know or
This
care.
is
Okay?
so
It's like,
good.
But he packs the candle because it's for experience. Like he's the CEO of fun, and so he wants to make sure that hotel room is like,
Listen.
let's get it on.
no, Amy. We travel for work. So, here's the thing. We're working in our hotel room all the
Yes.
time. We're either rehearsing Jasmine's talks or we're going through something. So, candles,
He goes to the store and buys fresh flowers.
Something just because we're going to be in there for
telling you.
hours.
I'm
So,
telling you,
hey,
like
listen,
a fan.
Listen, I just don't want it to feel.
this
I don't
is
want it
good.
to feel. I want it to feel like home, like something we do at home.
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is good. All right. So I actually want to switch gears because some of your listeners and some of your audience, they had some questions. Beth says, I'd love to know how you create boundaries in your personal and work lives with your team and your fans. Obviously, there's a lot that you and JD want to keep private. How did you decide how you both would maintain those boundaries, both with fans and with each other, keeping your personal life as a couple and your professional life as a couple separate, for example? Or perhaps you're still working on this?
So personal boundaries haven't always been this way. This is
Okay.
a work in progress. This took us a while to get to, and then once we got to it, it's something that you have to revisit all the time. So I don't want you to think that we just
Right.
kind of like magically
Right.
waved a wand. Our thing that we do now is we make sure that we have a full work day with a full schedule. So I'm not going to be interrupting or saying, hey, let's go watch a matinee today. Let's go do something fun during the day. I know that work hours are what I consider, 9 to 5 type of thing. Dinner's served at 6 o'clock, and that's what time we turn off all. And,
Carlson, please set the wine table.
yes, it's an excuse because the reason why I serve dinner every day at 6 o'clock is because that ensures that technology, computers, everything is turned off, and after that, it's us two. Jasmine found a little hack to this and started waking up at 4 a.m. So now she gets from 4 a.m. to 6. So she's on overdrive. She's, but
I know you do, Amy. I know you, my folk.
And I love it about her. I don't mind because she's very respectful about that time and she honors our quality time. So for me, that's such a big thing. And Jasmine's just really good about it. Obviously launches happen and things like that where things get crazy. And things change during those periods of time. But, after that, we usually take a nice little vacation or something. So we're good.
So nice. Okay. So another question that one of your listeners had was about your decision to adopt. And I was hoping you guys would talk about that a little bit. Specifically, my first question is, have you always known you were going to adopt? Did you always know you weren't going to carry a child yourself, Jasmine? Like, was this always in the plan?
Yes and no. We always knew we were going to adopt, period. Right. Did we think it was going to look this way? Not exactly, but and I feel like pretty confident to say this on both of our behalves. Like, we couldn't be happier with the way that life has worked out for us. And we know that there is like a perfect child for us waiting to be born or who is already in like the universe for us.
Which I love. I always tell Jasmine, I think it's going to be a girl. So I say, your baby girl's already out there. She's already
That's
waiting.
what we hope.
She's already decided. So I can't even imagine JD taking over this role, like the daddy of the house and everything.
I mean, my heart, it literally explodes. Like there's a puff of glitter just waiting to come out.
I get it. So this whole idea, you guys are adopting a baby, maybe two, who knows? But my question is, you've been in the process and it's been tough. Like you shared on social, you shared with me, the process has been tough. My question for each of you is, what do you think has been the most challenging or the most surprising about the whole experience?
I think the most challenging is the unknowing. Like I feel like we've been ready and we also know that the time hasn't been right. And I think that tenuous balance between waiting and feeling confident, it always rears its ugly head. And what we've been pretty private about is how many times we've gotten close to the end where we're like one of 3 adoptive parents. And then at the end, the mom ended up picking somebody else for reasons we may or may not ever understand. And I think that it always feels like you're in that perpetual state of like waiting. And then you wonder like, oh, are we enough? Yeah. Which totally speaks to like a childhood weird thing for me. And so I always go back to knowing, which leads to the surprising part. And the surprising part was this overwhelming sense of knowing. Like it kind of stinks, but like we know,
yes.
Like when she comes, God have mercy, this child will just, create and wreck our world in the best ways.
Cuteness aggression, because we are already loving her and we don't even know her yet.
Exactly.
I can't wait. Yes. No, I think I agree with Jasmine. We're planners. We like to just make sure that our lives, of course, they'll change, but if we can mitigate any of that, if we can have systems in place and things ready, we would love that. But I feel like the adoption process doesn't really allow for that.
Yeah.
So what we've learned a lot is pretty much like we're at this point where we're just like, who needs a crib? Okay. We'll buy that when, 24, all we need is 24 hours.
I was curious, have you purchased anything yet?
No.
No.
So when it happens, it's just like game on.
I feel like I like that. I feel like I'm okay with it. I feel like we are ready for what it to look like. And I think that there's a part of me that I still kind of want to protect myself. I feel like the minute you buy something and then you stare at it for like week after week, it becomes a little harder. His mom told me that when his baby sister came home, she cleared out her top drawer and put the baby blanket in the drawer, and his little sister slept in the drawer. And I heard that, I was like, we're fine. We're straight.
Totally.
We got a drawer. We're fine.
Right.
Good to go. I am so excited about this whole adoption process. I think you two are the perfect parents to do so. I love hearing every word of it. I hope you keep sharing the adoption process with all of us because it's just beautiful. I love you guys so very much. I loved doing this, and congrats on your podcast. I can't wait to hear every single episode.
Love you, Amy. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Okay, friends, how funny, awkward, awesome was that interview? Many thanks to Amy for bringing out that side of us. I still can't believe JD threw some shade about my fake eyelashes and my inability to do laundry. Y'all, we're gonna have to get through some therapy after this interview. Either way, I am still crazy about him, and I am so glad you were able to get a sneak peek into what makes him so special. Now, before I end, I just want to invite you to reach out to Amy on Instagram and thank her for coming on this show. You can find Amy at Amy Porterfield on Instagram, and I just know she would love to hear from you. Tag the both of us because we want to make sure and say thank you for listening. Speaking of listening, if you enjoyed listening to the first 3 episodes of the Jasmine Star Show, I'd love to invite you to leave a review on iTunes. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to ask for something without giving you something in return, so I'll give you a little something to say thank you. If you head over to jasminestar.com/podcast review, you can gain access to a recording of a masterclass I held with James Wedmore for Social Curator members. Now, this was an exclusive class entitled How to Raise Your Prices Without Losing Customers. Now, y'all, this masterclass was one of our members' favorite classes about how to price your services, and it is yours absolutely free as a way for me to say thank you for leaving a review. So, in order for you to leave a review, please head over to the purple iTunes app on your phone, search for the Jasmine Star Show, and leave a 5-star rating and tell me what you think of the podcast, and then be sure to get access to that exclusive class all for free as a way to say thank you for leaving a podcast review.